Here's another question from John Kopish, one of our members. He asks, isn't our ever-growing government the real problem by implementing regulations and handing out tax breaks that always favor one group over another? If the government is going to distribute favors, then billionaires and other people are going to lobby for them. We know, based on the numbers, that when government meddles less in the economy, inequality tends to fall.
I'm not sure that I buy that last supposition at all. I mean, the period in which we had the most inclusive growth was 45 to 75, when the old cliche that a rising tide lifts all boats really did apply. And that was a time when we had tax rates pushing 90% for very, very high earners. We had much more robust social safety nets than we have now. We had aggressive intervention in antitrust so that we didn't have the monopoly power that, I mean, look, since the late 70s, actually, just look at one industry that I've written about recently, the meat packers. You know, they have the four largest meat packers in America have increased their concentration of slaughterhouse capacity from 35% to 85%. That's what happened when the government stepped away and said, yeah, boys, go ahead, you know, just buy one another. You'll get bigger, and supposedly we'll get, you know, more efficient plants, and that'll turn into lower prices. It turned into lower costs for meat packers, but that actually turned into cattle ranchers going out of business because they're getting a much smaller slice of what we American consumers used to spend on beef. Moreover, at the other end, the four dominant packers can squeeze all the distribution channels, the restaurants, the supermarket chains, and force them to pay higher prices. So the net effect of this is we're paying higher as consumers. Cattle ranchers are going out of business, and four behemoth conglomerates that have been allowed to swallow one another by government stepping away are getting more and more of the gains, especially JBS, a Brazilian conglomerate that's led by a couple of convicted felons who fleeced banks at home and went on a buying spree that put them in control of lots of slaughterhouse operations in America. That's just one example. But, you know, I would say that you cannot differentiate between government and Davos Man. Yes, it's true that this kind of arms race of tax cuts, one state versus one another, countries against one another, that's been debilitating. But it's a chicken and egg thing. I mean, government didn't just decide to hand out tax cuts to businesses. They did it because businesses lobbied them. And this is the whole point. Our democracy has been captured by a handful of very powerful interests that have taken an economy in the States. And again, my book's not just about the States. It's about Britain. It's about France. It's about Sweden. It's about Italy. Had taken economies that did succeed in delivering innovation and growth and giving people opportunities. And they have diverted most of the gain. They've dismantled public infrastructure and diverted the proceeds to themselves. And it's very easy to pick on government because government's now really weak. This is the Davos Man playbook. First, you make a cut, then government struggles, then you say, oh, government's so dysfunctional, we may as well just eliminate a whole agency and take the proceeds and give it to ourselves, and we'll give it back through philanthropy. You know, that's what I call the cosmic lie in the book, and it is indeed a lie.